Hey and welcome guys, welcome ladies and gentlemen. It is July the 7th and I want to talk about what's going on with patch 1.33. Alright, let's jump right into it. So if we are going to the Battle.net launcher, this is what we see. We see the Battle.net launcher and it says WarCraft 3 Reforged Update 1.33 PTR patch. Now that's on the test server and it's not yet live. When we click on it, they say, "Greetings Warcraft Reforged community. It's been some time since we've provided an update. Many of you have asked us blah blah blah. You can read the patch notes to learn more." And there's relatively small changes, but you know, they're planning ranked and profiles, I believe, and in-game statistics. So that is coming. We plan to continue to work on delivering multiple updates this year. And this is a news from about 3 weeks ago. But rather than simply telling you, we plan to show you. Keep an eye out on the official Warcraft Reforged site to stay up to date. If we go to the site, we can see nothing at all that is new yet. They're still saying that they're going to shape the fate of Warcraft's world, that there's going to be reforged visuals, vivid recreations of every hero unit, building, and environment. Some of the things that they promised that didn't end up actually coming to the game. This is what we know, and I've updated you about how they didn't really reforge all the in-game cutscenes, and we've seen insane monsters work in the Reforged campaign, which I played several missions off of, and is a really good step towards a better in-game imagining of the Reforged campaign. But there's more going on than just what's going on with the campaign and with multiplayer. My greatest fear is that Blizzard comes back and touches W3 champions in some capacity and ruins the multiplayer experience of Warcraft 3. We've been mostly without Blizzard in the last 2 to 3 years or so when enjoying Warcraft 3, and honestly it's been fine. Partially it's been for the better, because some of the things that they've done recently in the last many years have not been up to scratch, to be quite honest. Or perhaps that is the new standard that Blizzard is employing. While they may be putting their efforts into Warcraft Arclight Rumble, the new upcoming Warcraft 3 mobile game, or Warcraft mobile game I should say, and they've recently churned out from the depths of hell Diablo Immortal, and its very deceptive, manipulative, and to be frank, disgusting monetization model, aimed purely at addicting you rather than having you enjoy a game for what it's worth. In the meantime, they are tinkering on Reforged, and there have been some good noises. While a month ago or so, I sent out a warning and an open letter as well to Blizzard after asking and talking with some of the industry professionals, the industry, let's say, insiders. And I say professionals, like almost no one is really making a living out of Warcraft or Warcraft content, but the insiders, the people that still love the game which was made with love and passion way back in the days. We want Blizzard not to break things. Even as there is room for improvement, we have lost some of the faith and confidence in Blizzard and their reputation and their, let's say, track record from the last couple of years, and to the point that we are afraid that they're going to break something. So what is at stake here? There is a map-making community that is still very active inside Warcraft 3. They're using the map editor and more. And recently I perceived through some friends and contacts, I perceived that there is quite a lot at risk when we're looking at Hive Workshop goings on. Now, Hive Workshop is the hub of community map makers that are churning out Warcraft 3 content. That means that they and the people that play maps from Hive Workshop, basically almost any custom map, could be affected by what's coming up. Now, as you know, I'm a big proponent of the melee of Warcraft 3. Tournament play, competitive play, ladder play, W3 champions. And then you've got people like Witty, who is a big proponent of the custom map scene. And we both dabble towards the other side as well, but it's clear we both have our preferences. So I lack a little bit more insight into the let's say the map making aspect, but luckily I am going to be having a guest coming on soon who can explain me a lot more about that side, and together we can hopefully illuminate some of what's going on as well. Now, one more thing before we go on. Holly Longdale is the person responsible for Warcraft 3's Classic development right now, for Reforged development. She's also World of Warcraft Classic lead. She was recently revealed to be the person in charge of World of Warcraft Classic, and in addition to Warcraft 3 Reforged itself. I have tried to reach out to her, as have Back to Warcraft, as have people that used to work for Blizzard but no longer do, and more. And to my knowledge, not I, nor anyone else has been replied towards, even though we've brought up legitimate concerns that should be in Blizzard's best interest to listen to. I think you can see where that's going. So I really hope that we do get contact with them. But if not, let's see what is at stake in the map making community. I'm happy to bring on Ralle. Ralle, are you? Do you hear me?
Do you read me? Yes.
Hey.
Hello. I just muted the stream now because it got confusing.
Yeah. So good. So you heard my my intro, and
Yeah.
I'm hoping that you can kind of help me and everyone watching this either on Twitch, on YouTube, to figure out what is going on in the map making. What are you afraid of?
Well, is it okay if I introduce myself?
Yeah,
first?
of course.
Okay. Hello. I am Ralle, the owner of Hive Workshop that you mentioned before, and we are the biggest Western modding community of Warcraft 3. So we keep a finger in the ground to know what's going on with Warcraft. And back in the Reforged days, we had people from Hive getting hired by Blizzard, so we had a very good contact with Blizzard in terms of especially the modding capabilities. And after the team disbanded, of course, the people who worked, the Hive people, the modders who worked for Blizzard left, and since then there is actually no contact between Hive community and Blizzard, and they have started making patches. Actually, the 133 is actually mostly made by the team that got disbanded, so we actually don't really know what the current team is doing, and they're definitely not asking us, is this okay? Are we breaking this? Because last time we were many people helping them.
So would you say that there was people from the Hive Workshop community that got directly hired by Blizzard and actually were working from the office?
I recommended Mindworks, as he's called, to Cam/Ryan to hire, and he was hired, and he had plans to move to the US to work there, but he mostly worked from Ireland there.
Oh.
And these two people were key in keeping what we have now, because the agenda there was to make the base game work, and there were so many things that they fought for to keep. Things such as LAN play, standard definition support, which was, I mean, if they had their way, SD would be gone. Local file support is a sort of newer feature. Offline play, observer API, and even updating the campaign that comes with the game. All these things could have been gone if these two people weren't there, which is shocking. But there are still, of course, a lot of things we are missing to this day.
Yes. Yeah, you say you fought for LAN. Obviously, we lost that fight. I fought for that as well. We don't really have LAN.
I believe we have LAN, but it's broken in 133 now.
I don't
guess you
remember.
have to be online to open the game, but then you can play on LAN.
Really? Because when I've gone into LAN and I host a game, it still says I have 50 ping. So I wonder whether, because normally if I'm going to LAN I should have 0 ping. Like way back in the day I would have no lag. I don't know if you know any more about that.
No, I don't. And now with the latest 133 patch and iterating on it, it seems like the only bugs they actually care about are bugs that affect melee. So adding that back, and there are problems with very big maps, and melee maps are tiny, so we'll probably get a lot of unstable things there, and things that we used to be able to customize now crash the editor.
Name an example.
Custom tile terrain tile art where you can change the ground. That crashes the editor when you set them to be custom.
Why is that important?
Because you can, when you are modding, you can make whole new worlds. Modding Warcraft allows you to completely move away from what looks like Warcraft and make a space map. You can make anything there. And changing it so the world editor crashes when you change the ground texture, that strongly limits what you can do.
Do you think this is intentional by Blizzard to say, hey, no foreign assets? Or they just broke it inadvertently?
They are very new, and they are probably not modders themselves. The easiest to get into when you first launch Warcraft isn't world editor, right? You are there to support the core features of the game, and modding used to be a core feature, but now it seems like an annoying side effect that causes people to make bug reports. And
so you're saying like they're mostly focusing on melee, but theoretically, I don't think the melee community is feeling very heard now as well. Like if we had our way, I think we'd have a bunch of balance changes, some map upheaval, zoom out. So we're really in the same boat that we're kind of being neglected.
Probably. But the melee community is bigger and louder.
Are they? Like when you look at say Witty's stream, he's still catching 3,000 viewers on custom game streams as well. So I think both sides seem pretty strong.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that.
But yeah, I agree that modding is important, and it's interesting that to this day there's still a lot of modding content going on, map making, and of course part of what's has us all even more in a frenzy recently is that cease and desist letter that had been sent to Retera.
Yeah. Retera was making what, if some of you know, is called War Smash, which is a sort of an alternative client of Warcraft, but it still requires you to have Warcraft legally, and it's not copying anything from Warcraft. It's a sort of reverse engineering attempt, which has been done in many other cases. So it feels like it has no ground, it has no basis, it's just bullying by Blizzard. And Retera, if you look at the Warcraft 3 changelogs, Retera has actually been credited for many fixes in Warcraft by the previous team working on Warcraft.
So the previous team, spearheaded by Pete Stillwell, who...
Yes.
Did you meet Pete Stillwell before?
I have been on a phone call with him.
And he seems like a great guy.
Yeah. He was very... I feel like he was very into the project. He was in it with his whole person.
I felt the same way.
I'm very excited about it.
Passionate, involved, and as you're saying, they were aware of, not just were they aware of Retera's work, but Retera helped out Blizzard. I don't know, free of charge or on contract.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Free? You mean he definitely helped?
He wasn't coding for them, but he was providing feedback and testing edge cases of Warcraft to help them figure out what is going on.
So not just was Blizzard aware of his work with the emulator War Smash, but they were able to build on his knowledge and expertise because he had spent so much time with the product with Warcraft 3, that they used his stuff. They used his expertise to make Reforged presumably better.
We have modded Warcraft for 20 years now. That's the 20th anniversary. We've modded Warcraft for 20 years, and the noobs sitting working on Warcraft now have no idea what Warcraft is capable of. That's why they have to come talk to us, and we are so willing to help.
Why?
2 people who used to work on Warcraft, Cam and Mindworks, have both offered consulting and help for free so they don't step in the wrong direction or do things wrong. People want to help, and money is not an object. They
And
want to
what
help, and they are just ignored, politely ignored.
ghosted or ignored, and
Yeah,
there doesn't seem to be any logical, even like legal or financial reason for Blizzard to go from a position where they had many people on board and they were working with map makers and streamers like me and map makers like you and emulator managers like Retera, to suddenly be like, hey, you guys gotta stop. Because for those of you who don't know, 4 days ago, on the anniversary, 20-year anniversary of Warcraft 3 Reforged, when everyone that still loves Warcraft 3 is celebrating the nostalgia of where we came from, the fact that we're still playing, despite what Blizzard sometimes seems to have turned into, we're still enjoying the game. And then on that day, we saw a screenshot of a cease and desist email to Retera to immediately stop working on War Smash. It doesn't seem to make any sense to go from relying on his expertise and many like him to suddenly being like, hey, stop.
to be honest, Pete isn't there, Cam isn't there, the whole old team isn't there. Nobody knows what the old team did aside from looking at the code. And the lawyers probably don't know when Warcraft came out. So
And now whoever Holly Longdale has appointed to work on Warcraft Classic, someone is seeing open drawers and closing them. Someone is seeing papers, metaphorically, lying on the table of the would-be Classic office and just like handing them in without checking the homework first. There was work done, and it's just being pushed now without the knowledge of what's going on.
yeah, and if they need an overview of what's broken, something it's important for me to share. It's the reason why we are in contact today.
Yes.
Is that a member of Hive Workshop, StormKnight, has written a huge document about everything he can gather wrong with Warcraft, and categorized it as things broken in 33, things broken before 33, things that would be nice to have, a good way to bring back custom campaigns, which Blizzard still owes us, because custom campaigns is a huge part of modding. They're leaving so many nice campaigns out in the dark. I want to talk about custom campaigns later if we have time.
Yeah.
So StormKnight has written this huge document that he has both posted in the Warcraft 3 forums on Blizzard, and there's a paste bin link on Hive. I think I sent it to you. I don't know if you're showing it or if you can share it somehow in the video or something. It would be nice if people viewing this and interested in this could go see it. Where he just outlines everything wrong, and they can just look at that and interact with us to get an overview of what, I mean, we are practically setting us up to offering being quality assurance on upcoming patches, because it would ruin our livelihood, not our livelihood, but our hobby livelihood.
Yeah.
If they broke Warcraft 3, because then we would have to look for old versions of Warcraft and start hacking them, modding them, legally, of course, no cease and desist, hopefully. Because we need some platform. Warcraft is a huge, great platform to make maps on that is just unseen. I mean, nothing is better so far.
Warcraft 3 has spawned amazing other genres because we love the map editor and the mechanics of the game. That's why we got Tower Defense and Dota coming out of it. And so what do you think, personally, Blizzard has as an advantage besides being able to use free man hours of quality assurance and so on? Like, why do you think they should be interested in this? And I mean, the same question to myself, like, why should they care about the Warcraft 3 balance? What do you think would be the reason?
I mean, their reasons could change completely now that Microsoft owns them. Look what they're doing with Minecraft and education and learning to program. I mean, Warcraft could join the same boat, right?
So that's not happening for another year, right? So we're now like in the twilight zone.
When they acquired.
Yeah, we hope it's going to be good things, but that's like we're in the twilight zone of like a 1 year period. We hadn't heard anything from Blizzard for 1.5 years about Warcraft, and the big question in my mind: why now? And why like this? What is their ultimate goal with pushing out these changes that we used to ask for, but like, why do it at all if you're not going to do it right? So I really wonder why now?
Yeah, it's a really good question. because I'm hearing that it's supposedly one part-time person working on the patch.
One part-time person.
One part-time person.
Wow.
I can't verify that, but that's what I'm told. So it doesn't seem like a big ambitious endeavor like it was at the beginning of Reforged.
Yeah, some kind of tying up of loose ends to be like in a better place legally, where they can say that they delivered on the promises that Reforged stipulated initially, or perhaps this halftime person, like they're really trying to just put the minimum resources and expecting them to fix everything because they thought it was almost done, some of these changes that are coming through. That's pretty tough to hear.
I mean, honestly, I would rather they leave it alone
Yeah.
unless they do it right. This half-hearted thing is just worrisome. They can't test it. I'm told they're definitely not going through the quality assurance. I guess it's a sort of script you go through, test everything, because many of the things broken in 133 are defined to check for. So it's just worrisome that they're going in the dark with a machete and trying to knead up this garden.
So what are we
But
maybe
just so-
getting if 133 comes through?
If it comes through as it is right now,
The good things.
I mean, we will definitely struggle.
The good things we'll get is like we'll get a version of ranked. We don't know how good it is, and right now
Okay, so that's a melee thing, right?
yeah, sure, but I'm
Yeah.
talking like in general, right? I know what's
Yeah.
at stake and what could be damaged in the map making. What we're generally getting is like some version of ranked, very likely much worse than W3 champions. No zoom out yet. A couple of campaign edits that Cam, who used to work for Blizzard, had made back then.
Yeah.
But for the map editor, how badly does it break things? 100%, 90%, 50%?
It's hard to say. It's hard to say. Maybe 30-40% more broken.
34. So you'd rather, like, if it's gonna be like this, just don't touch it at all.
Yeah, definitely. They have to talk to us because they broke things in the last team broke things until they learned from us how we were using things. Because sometimes you program something and you design it to work one way, and then the modders figure out, okay, if you use it this other way, we actually have access to this, this, and this. And they sort of cut that off until people screamed that their maps were broken, and then they reverted it, but changed it in another way that didn't break maps. So
I think I remember that.
the communication is crucial if they have to edit this. It's, oh man.
So people in chat are asking who's Ralle, owner of Hive Workshop, the #1 custom gaming modding scene for WarCraft 3. And he's recommending don't do anything, Blizzard, if you are going to be planning to launch 1.33 as is. A strong signal.
Yeah.
And I will say from the perspective of the Melee community, we think there can be some improvements with balance. We think it could be cool to have a ladder, but we have a ladder through W3 Champions. I personally have 0% confidence the Blizzard ladder could ever be as good as W3 Champions ladder, except if they copy the W3 Champions ladder. So if they do nothing at all anymore, I think maybe that would be even better to know, because then we can start balancing the game ourselves via custom games. We can do a community patch and just apply it to all W3 Champions map. This can be done, it is in our power, and if Blizzard breaks anything at all for Melee or custom, it could just be worse. And how should we have confidence when they're not talking to us? We know they're not going to be able to QA everything right now.
Yeah, it's just worrisome. If they leave it alone, we know what we have. If they start messing with it, it's just bad time over again. Like when they were up until before they released Reforged, they were releasing patches that broke things, and then they fixed it in a later patch, and some things remained broken until this day. But at least there was communication, and they were aware of things, and they were iterating, and they were responsible. And now we have zero contact. It's just worrisome. That's all I can say. Running is big, and they should pay attention to it.
Yeah, I agree. So we have here the timeline of what was going on way back when. We were meeting with Stillwell back then, Pete Stillwell. Many from Hive Workshop got together, wrote a long report on bugs and feedback. Cam got hired, Mindworks got hired, which you recommended to them. Cam worked locally in the office. Mindworks worked from a distance. You said from Ireland, I believe?
Yeah.
And then these two were essential for representing modding, and in many situations fought for things to not break or get cut. And you guys at home probably, you can imagine, in a juggernaut of a big company like Blizzard, you're one person with a strong opinion on something, with an insider expertise on something, and you have to work against the bureaucracy of the hierarchy. And you know that some manager is going to push something through that you disagree with, that you think is going to be unpopular with viewers because it's going to break things, and you fight for that. That's risky. That's your corporate life on the line. When you make a stand like that, you better be sure about it. And I know a number of features like this were protected or fought for by some of these insiders, including the right to refund WarCraft 3, because it is in a shambles in terms of the promises that were made to be delivered to Reforged and didn't actually come through. So things went still, crunch mode, then leadership cut budgets, canceled contracts, fired people. Things broke, bad reviews, team disbanded, and so on. Then we didn't hear anything for a long time. Then what's incredible is that, I have given a lot of free consulting to Blizzard privately as well to help with icon art, balance, community perspective, and so much more. Dozens and dozens of hours, if not hundreds. Cam, Mindworks, offering to help for free. Ralle here to help for free. You can go stupid, but we have our own living. We're not working for Blizzard. We're making a living elsewise. And we're doing this. Yes, Blizzard will be able to use us for no pay, which is a stupid good deal for them. We're still doing it because we love the game. And more than that, we know that there's going to be people disappointed. Viewers, players, custom game players, melee players, when things break. So they have that resource, and right now they're not using it. So reach out, Blizzard, if you're watching this.
Or read the document, or both.
So this is not the document. What I'm showing here on screen is not the document, right?
Seeing what you're showing.
Is it this link here at the bottom, the paste bin from Hive Workshop?
Hold on. Yeah, and it also links to the one from the forum, one to the Blizzard forum. So that one is one version of it. If you feel more comfortable with linking but directly to Blizzard's forum, you can do that. It's up to you.
I'll put that link below the video player as well, so that that can be checked out for anyone that watches this video.
Great.
Yeah, and then the lawsuit. Yeah, so Retera, can you show us anything like what War Smash is?
I personally can't on short notice, but there are YouTube videos where it looks exactly like Warcraft 3, and I guess that's what they saw. They saw the YouTube video. Okay, you re-implemented Warcraft 3. That's worrisome, but they don't have the full story. I mean, they didn't even have his real name. They used his gamer tag, right?
Yeah. Very official lawyer email by gamertag.
Yeah, exactly. So they're just doing what we do, scan the internet, find an interesting headline. Oh shit, somebody's copying our game, send an email, go further, shotgunning people down. That's my feeling anyway.
Yeah, it seems kind of like a shot in the dark. And Project War Smash, it's not making any money, is it?
No, it's a passion project. It's open source, it's MIT. Blizzard could actually take War Smash's code and distribute it as Warcraft 3 if they wanted to.
Very strange. Ralle, anything else you want to impart with Blizzard or with viewers? Is there any call to action anyway that anyone can help, or just anything you want to share?
I have been told that I should urge you, Grubby, to try Chronicles of the Second War. And in general, I think people who like Warcraft 3 Melee should take a look on Hive Workshop or other places for custom games. There are many cool maps you can play. Many hours of playing fun games. I mean, think of it as not Warcraft. Think of it as another game you can download for free and play. Tower defenses, RPGs, demonic sword RPG. So many cool things. I mean, you played Reforged. It's a better Reforged campaign.
Yeah.
So many things that people do that trump what Blizzard do. I think the models in Chronicles of the Second War are better than what Blizzard came up with for Reforged.
There are new models?
The 3D models. It's a HD campaign that somebody made.
I wonder if I've ever tried it.
In the game, all models are custom. You in Warcraft 3 modding, you can of course replace models in the game with 3D models you make. So in Chronicles of the Second War, they have made Chronicles of the Second War is Warcraft 2 remade in HD, and it's just super ambitious.
I'm checking it out now. Maybe I can give it a quick look. Trying to download that. So it's Warcraft 2.
Yes, with oil and all, but made in Warcraft 3.
That's pretty cool.
And in HD.
Does it have the Warcraft 2 sound files as well?
It's completely new voice acting by professionals.
Oh shit! Didn't ask me.
Oh yeah, yeah. Maybe you didn't fit the bill. Or maybe you were too expensive.
Not professional enough. Let me check. I'm starting it now. It gave me an error.
Ouch.
Maybe
Are you playing on the PTR?
No. I downloaded Chronicles of the Second War updated demo.
Okay.
It was updated in April. Here, I'll send you the link. I want to make sure I got the right thing. You're not a pro, Grubby. Yeah, not a pro voice actor, just amateur.
I should just reach out to somebody, but...
I mean, I can always do it next time.
You can just plan for it and make preparations.
Yeah, I'll check it out sometime.
And this is a custom campaign, but custom campaigns don't exist in Warcraft 3 Reforged.
Right.
So there is a Chinese guy who makes this mod called Quenching Mod that sort of hacks Warcraft. So you replace the built-in campaign to play third-party campaigns. And I mean, the guy is a genius. It's cool that this exists. But come on, Blizzard. I am told the code to play campaigns exists in Warcraft. They just have to put it in the user interface.
Ah.
And just adding the buttons, adding the drop downs.
The front end, yeah.
And hit play. It's 2 days of work at worst.
4 days for a part-timer because he has to fit it in half the time. It's not a full time, but yeah, 4 days. Come on.
Yeah, I'm a web developer. I can do it.
Ralle,
I'll do it for free. I know it's React. I'm good at React.
I hope they reach out. We'll all let each other know. Let's make a bet who will be reached out first. The options are Hive Workshop, Back to Warcraft, me, or nobody at all. But we'll let each other know. We'll let each other know if we hear from them. We're looking forward to it despite everything.
Yeah, we will open the door and give a hug. We are so welcoming. We will not be toxic. We will be very nice.
Mostly. I mostly won't be.
Yeah.
Ralle, thanks for coming on and talking about this.
Thanks for having me.
I hope it's a wake up call for them.
Yeah, I hope so too. We tried.
We tried.
Thank you, Grubby.
Thank you, Ralle. Well, guys, what do you think? What do you think? They're gonna reach out to us? They're gonna fix shit? Hope so. I'll let you know if we hear anything from them at all. To maybe not push this patch through, or to wait a little bit longer. Because Blizzard said we'll hear from them in June 2022, and we did. And we do it. And it's the first week of July now. And the patch, we did hear about it, but it's not done yet. There were small improvements, but it's not enough. And we hope they don't break the game in some way. And thanks for watching.